Hello, gamers, once again. Hello, welcome to the DoorDash tier list. This is a weird one because some may not know, but it's kind of all I really talk about when the terms of a job are brought up. I am a sort of full time, not really even full time, like part time DoorDash driver. And important thing to know, I am not endorsed by DoorDash to do this even. I'm just doing it because I feel like it. Um, and I feel strongly about a lot of restaurants after this because it's just something incredibly niche. Once you've done a year or so of DoorDash, you'll understand all of this completely. And it really just depends on what goes on with after COVID and all that. It really just depends on what goes on at your local area. This may be completely irrelevant to some people just because depending on how much you actually see these places can actually make a difference depending on the local management and all that. It really depends. So here we go. And this is also including a lot of restaurants, or actually just a lot of restaurants that are popular, and also a lot of places that you can just get DoorDash like grocery from. So all of that is included. And there's obviously a lot of these that are not local to my area. So probably not going to do all of them. That's why I have a not applicable because, it's really not going to, some of them really aren't going to matter. All right. Anyway, as of late, Little Caesars to start things off strong. Little Caesars is fine for their pizza. I mean, I'm okay with their pizza. It kind of, I know most people think it's like hot garbage. However, I'm actually okay with it, and it's something I could certainly eat like every once a year and be fine. Now, Little Caesars as a delivery thing, though, completely different because Little Caesars is much more like weird with how they do deliveries. Recently they've been kind of weird at my location. They're usually kind of slow just because I know that they're probably understaffed to hell. However, they're all right. They're usually not terrible, not great. They're usually just somewhere in the middle because I really don't find them that great for getting an order, but they're pretty consistent with that like okayness. So I really don't have much of a problem with them, and that's like a B tier thing. I usually have good deliveries from here. It's really not much of a problem. Okay, Burger King is weird. This is one of those that I'd actually dock points for just because it's one of those places with DoorDash, delivery DoorDash that it just feels weird. Why would you get Burger King delivered in the first place? Anyway, that's not why I'm here. More more than that, the experience delivering for these guys is like kind of just lower than Little Caesars. It's really nothing that special, but it's certainly, you know, it's certainly some degree of fine. I would say it's like top of C, bottom of B, probably pushing more bottom B because they've actually had some decent orders in the past. Okay, Chick-fil-A. This is a weird one, and I'm going to go based off of recent, even though lifetime experience may matter because COVID actually made my Chick-fil-A, the local one, partially closed down. Like you could only walk in and do takeout. You couldn't do any of that. They were renovating the restaurant you know, as COVID was going on, so you couldn't sit down or anything. But delivery was actually perfect around that time. I'd say you could just walk in, grab your order, and leave. It was pretty damn simple, and I don't even think there was much of a fuss. But recently, I'd say they went from like the S perfect of delivery to like A. And that's just more because they kind of have to double check with your order. Like they don't want it sitting out for some reason now. Probably because it gets confusing trying to, you know, put together all the online orders that aren't DoorDash or anything else really, and all the delivery orders. So it's a little finicky, but I can completely understand why they had to dock like some of these features. Um, they're fine. They're actually like pretty reasonable now. They used to be perfect during COVID, but that's obviously just something that kind of just adapts with its surroundings, so you can't really get much of a, a better experience than that. Chipotle. Chipotle is something I'm kind of strong on because it's something it's actually the first thing I DoorDashed, I believe. Anyway, Chipotle recently is doing more of a Chick-fil-A type thing because COVID's completely over, or, not completely over, but, media-wise, it's over. But Chipotle is doing that thing where they put it behind the counter and say, "Hey, who are you here for?" And then you say the name, and then they check if it's already done or if they're working on it and all that. Chipotle is just about where Chick-fil-A is, just because they deliver as much. They deliver at the same, willingness to give to the dasher their food, as Chick-fil-A. I don't really know if I'm explaining that well, but Chipotle is about the same as Chick-fil-A, just because they do the same thing. They put the order behind their thing, so you have to go, "Hey, I'm here for this order," and then, then it's handed to you. I don't know what this is. I don't know. All right, Five Guys is at least the ones that I have been to for DoorDash. Their waits are extraordinarily long, like just for DoorDash orders. And I understand it's just because of, sometimes it's more thinking about the quality of what you're getting. And it is really expensive for that quality. But Five Guys is like really not doing that well. They're probably the bottom of A for me, just because they do understand that you're there for DoorDash, and they will always be like, "Hey, what's up? What are you here for? We'll look out for you," that kind of thing. But they can't do much about the wait times. The wait times are almost always longer than expected. I've only a few times seen an order that was just ready right there, ready to go. And that's maybe just because I got there late, but I don't know. Five Guys is like bottom of A. The wait times is what really doesn't want me to go there. The pay is what wants me to go there. It's never the, like, if I have a $5 order for Five Guys, let's say, and they're like, it's like a few miles away or something, I'll usually just debate going to get the order, like, or even accepting it, because, like, if it's that long, why should I even bother? Because, I'd have to get like a double order or something. Anyway, Jersey Mike's. Oh my god, this is like Chick-fil-A, how Chick-fil-A was doing, and it's perfect. They set your order out on like a rack, and I think this is at every one I've been to. They set your order out on a rack. Most of the time, it's usually ready by the time you're there, because it's really fucking fast, kind of like Subway, except it's actually faster than Subway, I'd say. So that's kind of sad. Like, I'll just put this in the same category. Actually, no, I won't. I will not put this in the same category as Subway, because Jersey Mike's is actually like about what I'd expect to be perfect. So, not the food, obviously, and obviously, let's keep in mind, I'm not talking about the food. I'm talking about the delivery, like how fast it is to deliver this, what the quality of the delivery service. It's pretty good. Jersey Mike's is always on top of it. They have the idea. Oh my god, McDonald's needs to not do delivery the way they're doing it. It's just not that great. The orders can be fine and largely doable sometimes, but recently McDonald's is just no, dude. I hate doing McDonald's orders. It's usually a pain in the ass, because here's the thing: they're still doing the weird COVID thing where you have to close. They have to close their doors by like 8 o'clock or whatever the hell. So if you get there at like 8:15 and you're trying to just walk in real quick to get your order, the doors are already closed. And this is only at some places, but it's really just annoying because they're not following any cohesive, like, why, first of all, why is McDonald's just closed at 8 p.m.? It's just, or, the restaurant doors themselves, you have to go through the drive-thru. Why is this? Why do we decide that this is okay? Like, no, it's not okay. And it's certainly just annoying. Anyway, the actual DoorDash orders for McDonald's, not great. It's usually just people ordering through McDelivery, which is a problem, because then the tips are kind of weird, because usually people won't tip because they'll just think, "Oh, I'm just ordering McDonald's." Nope, you're ordering DoorDash, because DoorDash is literally partnered with McDonald's. But you think they'd be better, at coordinating the pay or something. Or, it really just feels stupid the way they're doing it. And I hate it. It's not terrible, but it's certainly just like, wow, I hate it. It could be so much better and so much better executed. I don't know what Einstein Bros is. What is this? It looks like good bagels, but yeah, I don't know what these are. Okay, so KFC has made a wonderful comeback as of late in my area. They've reopened from all the COVID shit, and they've started actually doing, like putting stuff on the rack and making sure that the doors are open. One time, actually, at KFC, I had an experience where the doors were not open. They were locked, even though it was open. So I was like, okay. So then I went into the drive-thru, and they said, oh, we're open. Can you just pull around and come inside? And I was like, okay, but the doors are locked. And they're like, oh, sorry about that. Weirdest experience I've ever had at a KFC, but honestly the worst as of late. Really, KFC made a comeback, and I think they're almost perfect. Not basing anything of this on the food, because the food is kind of not great. KFC is like, for DoorDash delivery wise, being the dasher, KFC is like probably a strong A, if I had to say. It usually takes a while because KFC is extremely slow at times, even if there's no one in the fucking drive-thru. They're usually fine. It's usually not that much of an issue, but God, they are slow. It's just really annoying. All right, Cava, no idea. Popeyes needs to rework everything with their delivery. I am like, seriously, with Popeyes, all I've experienced is that it was so bad I have literally never taken another Popeyes order. The main reason for this is also Popeyes is like directly in my city, where it's like where people order from there a surprising amount, which is weird considering it's, I don't know, but people order it from there in a lot, so it starts to bleed out into this like, oh, you're in the east part of your city, but you're technically close enough to the thing. Like, it's so annoying with Popeyes, man. And it's always just not good. The last time I was at Popeyes was the last for a reason. I went to Popeyes to get an order, went to the drive-thru because I was told to. So then I was told, okay, after like 20 minutes of waiting, I was told, okay, just go inside or whatever. I think it was like I was waiting in the drive-thru because, it was taking a while. And then I got to the window and they said, oh, okay, so you're going to need to go inside. And I was like, huh? Okay. So I went inside and waited like 40 minutes for one order. It was really bad. I don't know if they've gotten better at this. I don't want to know because the pay is usually terrible on Popeyes orders. Just, I don't know why, but for some reason. It's just a local thing for me. But the pay is usually terrible, so I'm really not enticed to go back, and the previous experience I've had with Popeyes just deters me even more. I don't know what this is, by the way, Flying Biscuit. I wish I did, but I do not know. Okay, Wendy's. I actually haven't had a Wendy's order in a long time to deliver. They really, I don't know what happened. They're just not that prominent. I don't really see it. Maybe they switched to Uber Eats. I don't know. But Wendy's is certainly not the greatest because sometimes you have to do the McDonald's thing where you wait through the drive-thru and it's just not that great. But once you go inside, it's usually about the same as like just waiting, and there's no real issue. It's kind of slow usually, but it's actually just a little bit better than McDonald's just because they don't actually lock their doors like that early, and it's actually just preferable. Jeremiah's Italian Ice. Probably should have just made my own version of this, but honestly, most of this is what I have. Most of the popular ones you see here are like all I really deliver. So it doesn't matter that much. And there's also local places, but I didn't really want to like center it around my local place. All right, Panera has gotten weird post-COVID. Panera is not my favorite to deliver right now, but they're certainly doable. I mean, it's a waiting game. You go inside, the doors are always open, and you just wait. There's usually some kind of a wait because I don't know if the staffing around my Paneras have been slow or, but anyways, it's all right. It's not the worst, and it certainly could be a lot better, but it's actually just at a okay stance right now. I'd say it's just better than Little Caesars because Little Caesars does little things like they used to do the thing where they'd put your order in the hot drawer or whatever the hell, and Panera is just lets it out and it's clear, very concise where it is and all that. It's actually much faster than Little Caesars sometimes, I'd say. Papa John's, man, they are very up on their game of DoorDash orders. I actually had one recently that was really good. But they also do this weird thing in the kind of outskirts areas of York, where I guess I'm already talking about my area, so York, PA. But Papa John's is just they're doing a weird thing with where like they'll get for some reason with I had to do this with DoorDash. Okay, I'm gonna give this whole story. I got a Papa John's order way out of town in York. It was like a town, and I went pretty far out with the order, and I was told before I picked up the order that I would be getting $35 in some sense. And there would also maybe be a tip. So I was assuming it'd be like $40, which is true. I got $40 cash. But the problem is the order actually takes the money out of my thing. It takes the $35 that I would have gotten out, so that they're paying for. So basically, it's more like I'm paying for the order that they got via my DoorDash income, which is really weird. But I guess it's fine because I was given cash, so it doesn't exactly matter. But it's just really weird. I don't know, but it was just very odd, and it worked fine. But it just feels weird having like $40 cash and being like, hey, we're gonna take $35 out of your DoorDash. Like, okay, I guess so. So I was basically given like, I think it was like $8 or $7 DoorDash pay, and then there was like $5 tip included, so it was pretty good. But it was very weird. It was very weird, and that's the only weird, and that's a very really niche thing with Papa John's, I guess. I don't know why they did that, but it works. And I guess with Papa John's in general, they're pretty good. They're pretty straightforward. They don't try and like heckle you and all that. I'd say they're actually pretty good. They do their job, and they do the delivery part of it clearly because pizza places just kind of have that in place. So you really don't get much of a problem with delivering Papa John's. All right. PetSmart is actually something we deliver, and it is very weird, but once you're doing it, it's just like, oh, okay, you just pick up the thing and then go. So basically with PetSmart, you have to ask the staff for your order, which takes maybe like 2 minutes max, and if it's ready, which it usually is, you go. And I don't even think I've ever had to wait for like a PetSmart grocery order. They do it for you. You don't have to shop. So it's pretty straightforward. I kind of don't like that you don't shop for it, but I guess it's better considering most people may not even understand what goes on in a pet store. So I think it's better this way. I would say they're on top. It's already pretty solid. I wouldn't say there's much to change. They know what they're doing. Panda Express I've never actually delivered. I don't even know if there's a Panda Express around here anymore. Don't know what this is. Taco Bell. Oh man, this one's like kind of up in the air. Taco Bell is good with like a question mark for DoorDash. They also do the thing like McDonald's where they close the door at like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or something, which is actually, or no, it might be 10. I think it's 9 or 10 on some days, but they are actually pretty, shut up Alexa. I don't know why my Alexa just turned on. They're actually pretty reasonable. And I'd say it's one of the better ones just because they put your order out once it's ready. They'll talk to you about it's like, oh, who are you picking up for? Because they'll say I have like a DoorDash hat on or something, and then just be like, who are you picking up for? And I'm just like, oh, the name. And then they'll usually get right on it, looking for it. Or finishing it, whatever. It's pretty solid. I think it's about as solid as you can be at a taco, like a Taco Bell. So I'd actually almost say it's like the most reasonable because you can walk in, take your order, and leave. And if it's a wait, it's usually not that long, unless there's a really weird situation going on. Sonic, never delivered because I don't even think we have a Sonic around here. I don't know what this is. Okay, Cracker Barrel as of late, this past like 6 months, let's say, because I've only delivered like a few. Cracker Barrel is kind of hit or miss. Their orders are usually either not there for like 10, 15 minutes or they're there. It's usually just a toss up. Like flip a coin and walk inside. That's basically what the odds are. Cracker Barrel is actually pretty good. It's just the wait kind of deters me a little bit, but it's overall fine. I mean, it's not that bad. It could be so much worse. But yeah, the waits certainly can take a while. Like, I think it was one time I had a really long wait, but the orders are usually fine. It's not really much of an issue. Don't know what this is. Oh my god, Walmart. So more prominently a few months ago, Walmart was like a really big thing on DoorDash for some reason, probably because of COVID. But Walmart was like swamped with orders that were so bad. Or DoorDash was swamped with Walmart orders that were incredibly bad. Like so bad I think it was a majority of the reason they stopped doing it, even though COVID has already kind of passed. Walmart's not good. They're just not good for DoorDash, and they don't work. It doesn't work as well as like even like PetSmart. Like my god, it's like I understand it's a completely different thing when people have like 100 things on their grocery list for a Walmart order. But oh my god, like even though they bring it out to you, it takes a long time. They weren't set up for it, and it was just terrible. And that's the only experience I have with Walmart. The pay was fine for what you were doing and how much you were waiting, but man, it was abysmal if you just did not have a good pay. So it was just it just really was like bottom of the barrel. I'd actually just put it in D. It was bottom of the barrel. There really wasn't. I mean, actually, just based on like my experience, I'd say like here, it's not so terrible that I'd never go back. Like if the orders were small, I bet it would be fine, but it's very weird. It's a very weird practice of how they did it. Tin Drum Asian Kitchen? Nope, no idea. Walgreens is one of those that you actually shop and deliver for. I'd actually put this in line with all of the Rite Aid, and the CVS. It's all the same, really. Some of the places have more people that are willing to help you, but it's kind of a toss up with these places. Some places have better management and people will actually want to help you. Most of the times they will, if you just don't know where one thing is. Once you're accustomed to the place specific to you, it's actually pretty easy. But sometimes it's a toss up, really. So I'd say Walgreens is just like fine, or Walgreens, Rite Aid, and CVS all are like, they're fine. They're pretty good. It's pretty straightforward. You just walk in and shop. So there's not really much to screw up besides like what you can do. And the places are all random sometimes with how they lay their things out. So that's the only thing I'm really like leaning towards with Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS. They're pretty straightforward. You just walk in, you either get the thing is with Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS, you usually get like emergency orders for like, Plan B or like, condoms or something, that kind of thing. Or it's either just or it could be grocery, because grocery is actually pretty decent at Rite Aid, I think. Anyway, it's usually grocery, emergency health stuff, or emergency health stuff also includes stuff like bandages and stuff that you'd actually need for if you're hurt, which makes sense. And that's really all you get at Walgreens. It's also, for some reason, sexual stuff. If they have that, and I've never seen that personally besides condoms, but that's the only thing that's the only other reason you'd get an order like that. Yeah. Anyway, Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Not good. Like, it is my absolute most hated place to see pop up on my screen, and I really genuinely hope it goes down the drain at some point for Tropical Smoothie. Oh my god, I hate it so incredibly much. They usually only consist of smoothie orders, so you're gonna just have leaky, cups of smoothie just on your screen. But let's back up, because I'd like to make a PSA. like, why would you? Let's have a serious conversation about this. Why would you order ice cream or smoothies, whatever may have you, that's a frozen drink, over DoorDash, especially if you live like, I'd say 8+ minutes away from the location? Why would you do this besides the obvious of like, oh, I want ice cream right now and I don't have it at my home? Just go to the store. It's like at least like 4 times as cheap to just get a tub of ice cream and eat it with your family instead of get like 4 smoothies and a fucking, oh my god. I have so much hatred for people that order ice cream in this way. And I will say, with ice cream or smoothie orders, you can usually get lucky with some places. For example, a place near me and my friends called Rita's, which is a Italian ice and custard place. They will actually freeze your stuff, which actually makes sense because it's custard and whatever. It makes more sense because it's custard and you can like freeze it a lot better by the time it's ready for delivery. And once it's ready for delivery, it will thaw and then just be ready as soon as it's there. It makes way more sense. And like if this were like Rita's, for example, it would be up here. Because I can understand that people would like ice cream in that way, and I understand that need, but it makes more sense in this way. The smoothie cafe thing needs to stop. And if it's food, I get that, but man, it is annoying. It is terrifyingly annoying to deal with Tropical Smoothie Cafe for orders. Oh my god, it is just abysmal. I've never accepted one recently because of how close smoothies get to dripping shit on my floor, which is something to be expected, I guess. Like if you get a blanket, maybe that would help, but why would I want to do that if I just like want to deliver basic shit anyway? Maybe I'll try it out someday, but Jesus, man, I hate doing this, the smoothie orders. It's so not worth it. And Dairy Queen, by the way, Dairy Queen is actually way better at doing the freezing thing. They'll bag your order and freeze it, and then you get it out, and it's bagged, so you just go and it's ready and it's all in a bag, and you don't need to worry about it. So this is where. Okay, so for comparison, this is where like Dairy Queen and other ice cream places would be. This is where Rita's would be, and this is where Tropical Smoothie Cafe deserves to be. Sorry to anyone who actually likes that place. And I would also like to say it's usually a white girl thing. It's never like a dude just looking, oh, I want a smoothie. Like if I randomly was just like, oh, I want a smoothie on DoorDash, this is not where you go. This isn't where you go. You go get like a Taco Bell, like, frozen drink or something, or you get like something else. Like, my God, you have so many other options than just Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Don't know what this is. Don't know what this is. I know what this is, but I wish I've had it before, and I don't have it local to me. And I don't know what the hell Taco Mac is, but I have seen it in a video before. Anyway, lastly, Dunkin' Donuts. And I guess to do this properly would be include Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin Robbins, because they are almost always paired. Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin Robbins are usually fine. Like sometimes I've had to go through the drive-thru late at night for an ice cream order, and this is actually like, the breakfast orders for Dunkin', they make sense. It's like usually a coffee and some donuts or a sandwich or something. It's usually in a nice little bag and whatever. It works pretty well. It's not bad. It's just I haven't really done many of them to begin with, because at some point you kind of realize that morning DoorDash isn't really worth it. So you just don't do it. But the orders are usually fine for what the morning is. And it's almost always the only thing you can get in the morning besides like a different donut shop. Anyway, and Baskin Robbins is a bit more sensical, than Tropical Smoothie Cafe, because it's ice cream, so you're already getting a little bit better of of something there, so I would actually say that they both in tandem are like, this is actually tricky because I'm just considering like the Baskin Robbins orders that I did where they're often okay. It's just something I'm thinking about. Like, I genuinely don't even remember the last time I did Baskin Robbins. The only times I do Baskin Robbins are are really long distance orders for some reason, and that kind of docks some points. But whatever. I bet if you're doing it normally, I bet it would be fine, and it could be better. It could be so much better. DoorDash is kind of an annoying job, as referenced with these places down here. I'd say they're usually the culprits of like, what the hell is going on here? Why are we not coordinating this better? But these actually make up for it, I'd say. They make up for it because you get those snappy orders that you just go, and they're usually just fine. These are the contenders for those cases of they're fine. Like, and also the quality of those orders. So there you go. That's the DoorDash the DoorDash tier list. I didn't think I would do this until now. So thank you for watching, and let me know if you are a DoorDasher, which would be extra cool. If you know any of these places that I've ranked, and if you have similar experiences or whatever, it's all important to me, and it's all a good thing of perspective. Thank you. See ya.